And tell me a little bit about your process, Luke. I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you.
Yeah. Here's how I work. I used to be very, very structured, right? I used to have the A to the Z. So before I actually take anyone on as a client, we do a free 1 hour screening call. Really only fill out a big application form. So I get to find out where they are and where they come from. And then I would go into my program that I'll be working with people, and I would kind of know in my mind what I'd be doing with them. And I did that. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years. And then I realized I was doing them a great disservice because, yes, I needed to know where I was going with them. Example, the person who's addicted to cocaine or alcohol, they're addicted in their words, and they want to get to sobriety. They want to get to abstaining and being okay with it. So I know if we're using like Google Maps, the most important thing to put in is your where you want to go, sobriety, right? And the second most important thing is where they are now. Well, Luke, I'm
Well,
drinking.
I'm a recovering addict, just to let you know. I got 38 years of recovery. So, keep going. I'm listening.
Cool. And that first spot is where you are right now. Yeah, so I'm drinking 2 bottles of whiskey a night. So then I realized everyone is different. So even though I may have worked with close to 10,000 people in hypnosis for every kind of problem, an addiction, literally thousands. Let's say I worked with 10 different people today and it was all over cocaine. It's not the same process for everyone because everyone's different. Everyone has their own unique story, narrative, trauma, the thing that brought them to the dance, so to speak. So to go in there to know the A to the Z without actually seeing how they respond when we're actually start the program was doing them a huge disservice. So now, because I'm a bit like you, I've been doing this so long now, I just have an instinct. I know where I need to go. I know where I start. Honestly, I have no frigging idea how I'm going to get there. I just know I've got this amount of time to get there. And so far, I pretty much help them get there every single time. But I'm seeing what they respond to. Because if I go into a classical hypnosis thing and I'm saying, see this and see that, and they don't class themselves as visual, that doesn't hit with them. That doesn't resonate. The work isn't effective. Now, if I'm talking about kinesthetic and do you feel this? Do you feel that? And they don't resonate with feelings, emotions at this present moment. And I'm banging on about that because the script says that. I've lost that client. I ain't helping them. If I'm talking about the sound of my voice and those voices, as I just read, before you do a line of Coke, before you do a bottle of Jack Daniels or Bacardi, and they're not into logistics, they're not into sound, I've lost them. So the first thing I need to do when I'm in front of them, and it's all virtual that I do now with people, is I need to see what they respond to. And when I see what they respond to, watching their physiology, their breathing patterns, listening to what they say, but also listening to what they don't say and the pauses between things they say and certain words people hang on. In my brain, I'm processing all of this stuff unconsciously, subconsciously, and then coming back with what I need to do with them next. Because I don't care what should work, because I was told when I was young and I was a young pup in this, I was told, well, Luke, if you do this course that you've done for $5,000, if you do this course, it works for everyone all of the time. We know nothing works for everyone all of the time. It's a crock of, and I won't use colourful language because I think you might have a PG rating there. I don't want you guys to get demonetized. But I need to see what everyone responds differently. So when I see them responding, I'm like, I'm gonna work more in this area because they're responding. So I don't care what should work. I care what my client is responding to, because everyone's different, and I need, like, we've got a different thumbprint, they've got a different soul print. When I know how they work, that's how I start to work with them.
Well, I love what you're saying. You and I are on exactly the same page. You got to go where the client is, not where we want to go. And and then rapport is the most important thing. If you don't have rapport with the patient or the client, you're not going to go anywhere. So if you try to push them in directions, that doesn't work very well. You're right on the money with what you're saying, Luke. So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying listening to you because I'm finally listening to somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. Not that I don't listen to other people that know what they're doing, but some people have a different version of the world.
Yeah, it's like this. What's the quote? When all you've got is a hammer as a tool,
Everything
then
looks like a
all
nail.
exactly.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I get screws, I get nails, I get all different types of people.
How about
Um,
wood pegs? No, okay, got it.
yeah, there you go. So yeah, once I see what they respond to, and to go back to your thing with rapport, I disagree with it, and I agree with it. Let me say why. When I was learning all this stuff, everything was about first most important thing is about getting rapport. If I'm quite honest with you, some of my clients, some of the times, may think I'm an arrogant a-hole. However, I'm not interested in having rapport with their consciousness or their intellect. What I am interested, and the only thing I'm interested in, is having rapport with their unconscious, their subconscious, their monkey mind, that essential 5-year-old inside that's causing them to do all those addictive behaviors or whatever the problem is that they don't want to do. Because I know when I get rapport with that part of them, I can help them. They can like me and like, oh, Luke, you're
No, well,
so
I'm not talking about rapport whether they like you, not like you. We're on the same page. I'm talking about that kind of rapport. See, the bottom line, addicts don't believe anybody. First of all, they don't trust anybody, and everybody is a jerk. So,
yeah.
that's just the bottom line. Okay, that's their whole thing. So when they call you up or whenever they're seeing where you're coming from and things that way, they don't like your beard or don't like your tattoos or don't like the way you speak, or they'll find everything in the world not to like about you, but they're calling because they're desperate. So when you come and you approach them the proper way, all right, you're going to be in rapport with them anyway. And the personality has nothing to do with the rapport.
Yeah.
You're clicking on what their intent is. You're clicking on, that's what you're clicking on. You're not. The rest of the stuff is just fluff.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, yeah, absolutely. And my intention is always if someone's put their hand up and said, Luke, I need help, then my job as I see it is to do whatever I can as long as it's illegal. As long as it's legal, not illegal, all right? Let's cut that down. As long as it's legal.
Legal, illegal, whatever works.
Why do you think I moved over from London to Canada? I'm going to do whatever I can as long as it's ethical, non-fattening, got to say that for the ladies, and legal to get them there. So if I've got to give them a metaphorical gang slap, I'm going to do that. If I need to shock them, I'm going to do that. If I have to give them home truths, I'm going to do that. A lot of people come in and they think, and I understand why, they think, well, hypnosis and this, he's going to be an earthy, soft guy. Whatever I say is going to be there. Everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. If you're overdosing on cocaine, heroin, alcohol, it's probably not going to be okay. And the reason you're calling me isn't because you're looking for a friend. It's probably because things aren't going to be okay. So I'm not here to like you go into your garden and they've got a bunch of weeds and those weeds are eating all your flowers. So you can use all the positive affirmations in the world. There are no weeds. There are no weeds. There are no weeds.
Yeah, forget about that. That ain't working.
But if you ain't actually physically going out there and removing those weeds, those friggin' weeds are eating up all your flowers. So I'm there to be a reality check, not to be
So let me ask you a question about the process. So,
yeah.
Okay, so they call you up, you get a whole intake on them, you know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
You get an understanding by watching their body language, by watching the tonalities in their voice, the way they're speaking, the way they're moving. And from your past experiences, you kind of get an angle of which way to go in.
Yeah.
I got